Week 10 action for the NFL regular season begins on Thursday, November 10th, as the Cleveland Browns visit the Baltimore Ravens on the NFL Network. The action continues on Sunday, November 13th with 12 games, including the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Carolina Panthers on CBS. The NBC game on Sunday night is one of the most anticipated games of the season, as the Seattle Seahawks visit the New England Patriots in a Super Bowl rematch from 2 years ago. Week 10 concludes on Monday, November 14th, as the Cincinnati Bengals visit the New York Giants on ESPN. Taking a look at the odds, on Thursday, November 10th, the Cleveland Browns will go to the Baltimore Ravens, who are 10-point favorites at home, with the total at 45 points. The Ravens have won 8 of the last 10 in this series, but they're just 5-5 against the spread, with 3 of the last 4 going over the total. Moving on to Sunday, November 13th. The Houston Texans will go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Texans are 1.5-point favorites on the road with the total at 42 points. The Texans have won 8 of the last 10 meetings in this series, and they are 6-4 against the spread, with 2 of the last 3 games going over the total. The Kansas City Chiefs will go to the Carolina Panthers, who are 3-point favorites at home, the total at 44 points. The Chiefs have won 3 of the last 5 meetings in this series, but they're just 2-3 against the spread, with 3 of the last 4 games going under the total. The Denver Broncos will visit the New Orleans Saints, who are 1.5-point favorites at home, the total at 49 points. The Broncos have won 5 of the last 7 in this series, and they are 4-3 against the spread, with 5 of the last 7 games going over the total. The LA Rams will go to the New York Jets, who are 2-point favorites at home, the total at 39.5. The Jets have won 6 of the last 10 in this series, with 3 of the last 5 going under the total. The Atlanta Falcons will then go to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 1.5-point favorites at home with the total at 50.5 points. The Eagles have also won 8 of the last 10 at home in this series. The Minnesota Vikings will visit the Washington Redskins. The Redskins are 3-point favorites at home with the total at 41.5 points. The Vikings have won 7 of the last 10 games in this series, and they are 6-4 against the spread, with the last 4 going over the total. The Green Bay Packers will go to the Tennessee Titans. The Packers are 2.5-point favorites right now on the road, with the total at 49.5 points. The Titans have actually won 5 of the last 9 games in this series, but they did lose the last meeting 55-7 at Lambeau Field in 2012. The Chicago Bears will go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bears have won 7 of the last 10 in this series, and they are 6-4 against the spread, with 2 of the last 3 going under the total. The Miami Dolphins will go to the San Diego Chargers, who are 3.5-point home favorites with a total at 49 points. The Dolphins have won 7 of the last 10 games in this series, and they are 7-3 against the spread, with all 10 games having gone under the total. The San Francisco 49ers will go to the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are huge 13-point favorites at home, with a total at 48.5 points. The 49ers have won 6 of the last 10 meetings straight up, and they are 5-5 against the spread, with 3 of the last 4 games going under the total. The Dallas Cowboys will go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 2-point favorites at home with a total at 49.5 points. The Dallas Cowboys have won 6 of the last 10 games against the Steelers, and they are 5-4-1 against the spread, with 3 of the last 4 games going over the total. The Seattle Seahawks will visit the New England Patriots in the evening game. The Patriots are 7.5-point favorites at home with a total at 48.5 points. The Seahawks have won and covered 6 of the last 10 games in this series, but they lost the most important game, losing 28-24 in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Moving on to Monday, November 14th, the Cincinnati Bengals will visit the New York Giants, who are 2-point favorites at home, the total at 47 points. The Bengals have won 4 of the last 7 games, with 5 of the last 7 going over the total. This week, the Buffalo Bills, Detroit, Indianapolis, and Oakland all have a bye week. For our picks and predictions on every NFL and NCAA football game this week, and a wealth of free stats and information, check out bangthebook.com.